I'd learn how to turn the mic off, but no, I don't. Turn it off. Is it on the top? Oh, you have one.
Well, welcome. Come here, Pancho. All right, lay down. Come on, down. So you know, when I speak for Microsoft, they put he snores so loud that they put a microphone on him so they can hear him snore. What does that say about my speaking ability? But I'm not sure. So anyway, welcome to Vision Beyond Sight. Amazing, amazing night. Cars are fantastic, huh? I just got back from CES in Las Vegas, and they have all kinds of driverless cars. Cars with artificial intelligence in them. Are you ready for that? No. For once, we'll have somebody thinking as it goes down the road. But anyway, when I get mine, I'm going to put Pancho in the front seat, the driver's side. I'm going to pull up next to the car at the very first stoplight and yell, "I've been carjacked, I've been carjacked," just to get a reaction. I don't know. But anyway, tonight I wanted to tell you a little bit about Vision Beyond Sight, but I have to tell you a little bit about my story at the same time. So I have an eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa. I have no vision in my left eye and 4 degrees left in my right eye. I almost fell over there, did you see that? And 4 degrees left in my right eye. I was told at 23 I would be totally blind by the time I was 25, and at 27 I would be totally blind by the time I was 30. Glad doctors didn't know what they were talking about, right? So anyway, I did not know when I was a child that I had an eye disease. I grew up in Montana. Come on, lay down. I grew up in Montana, in a community that didn't believe in doctors, and so I never went to a doctor until I was 18 years old for the very first time. My parents, they believed in bacon. You had a cut on your leg, you got bacon. You had a cut on your arm, you got bacon. If you poked your eye out, you got bacon. I smelled like pork until I was 18 years old when I left. So at 23 years old, I went to the first Navy doctor who told me that I had something wrong with me. He told me I would be totally blind by the time I was 25. So my answer to that was party my way to blindness. So for the next 2 years, I did every drug and type of alcohol available. 25, I woke up, looked around, went, well, that didn't work. 27 years old, next doctor told me that I was going to be blind by the time I was 30. So, I was young, so partied my way to blindness again at 30 years old. I woke up and I went, well, this ain't going to work anymore. So through the years, out of fear for blindness, I managed to work my way up to the top of several construction firms throughout the United States. At 48 years old, I wrecked my Lincoln Continental 9 times in the same parking lot on the same pole. So I decided to give up and try to solve this blindness thing. The problem with giving up, working 70 or 80 hours a week, the problem with that was I went into severe depression. And so I was looking for a way to end it all. And so I came up with a good way. I decided to step in front of an OCTA bus to end my life. Now I'm on the committees for the board of OCTA. That's kind of ironical, isn't it? But I ended up at a place called the Southern California College of Optometry. Okay, and that was the beginning of what I call my Vision Beyond Sight. And so that was the very beginning. And there, at that school, they told me about all these resources, and I call Vision Beyond Sight a formula. So 3 places. First thing is you have to understand your vision. You have to understand that you're going to lose your vision. You have to understand things that are available for you once you lose your vision. That's number 1. So I went to the Southern California College of Optometry, which they're here tonight. The dean is actually here. I went there and the doctor actually said, oh yeah, you're gonna go blind someday, but there's all this cool stuff and all this cool technology and glasses and all this crazy stuff. But she gave me resources. And that was number one. That was what I needed. I call vision beyond sight hope. And so all of a sudden, I had hope. I wasn't as lucky as Jake here to be able to be such a great football player, Jake. I want you to know, Jake, that when I was 10 years old, I went out for baseball, and the balls kept hitting me in the face, and I couldn't figure out why. Then I went out for football. Football has mean dudes, Jake, just so you know. Okay. And then I went out for hockey. And anybody that allows what's those little cakes we used to buy? Huh? No, the little cakes we used to buy, Hostess Twinkies. Anybody that allows a Hostess Twinkie to come at you at 300 miles an hour is crazy. And Jake, I hate to tell you this, but hockey players are meaner than football players. My first broken arm was football, my second broken arm was hockey. So I went out for golf, Jake. Yeah, I heard you want to do that. Yeah, I went out for golf. Here's the key, right? Put 4 clubs in your bag and 100 golf balls. But don't let anybody see you drop them. They kicked me off the team when I was in high school. But anyway, so back to where I was at. So phase 2 on this vision beyond sight is actually learning all about the different technologies and everything that's really that you need as a visually impaired person. For example, I went to the Southern California College of Optometry looking for magic glasses. What do you think? Would you wear those in public? Yeah. These glasses, you talk to them, they magnify, they read, they hold something up, they read to you. You can hook to Netflix. My boss is in the audience. That's what I do when I'm in meetings with her. And so you can do, so you just have to look for all these different pieces of technology and all these different amazing things. And so I did it through volunteering. Now I spent 10 years volunteering and going around and just learning about this. I had the pleasure of seeing patients at the Southern California College of Optometry. And you know, I have to tell you this funny thing. So I met this little kid when he was like 4 or 5 years old, something like that. His name was Jack. Jack, are you out there? Now, Jack is one of our patients. We gave him technology. That kid is going to be so successful when he's older because he knows what he wants to be, he knows how to get there, and because he went to Blind Children's Learning Center. He learned everything that I learned starting at 48. He learned before he was 6. So I'm going to be his butler someday. So, you know. So phase 2 is figuring out all this stuff, right? You get all this stuff and you got to figure it out and you got to volunteer and you got to. Phase 3 is actually understanding that it's not always about you. Okay? So I had grown my career totally out of fear of blindness. And it was all about me. I don't even remember my kids growing up. It was all about me. So I had grown this career out of that fear. So I started volunteering for the Southern California College of Optometry. And then one day I decided to visit a place called Blind Children's Learning Center. And it was the most amazing place I've ever been. They took me to a classroom. And inside this classroom there was children who could see. There was children who could just barely see. There was children who couldn't see at all. And then there was children who had such severe disabilities that blindness was their minor disability. But there was one little girl that was sitting in that classroom, and I'll never forget her as long as I knew her. She was deaf and blind. And so I said to the teacher, I said, how do you teach somebody who is deaf and blind? And she said, I even got a prop here, hold on one second. And she said, First we take, if I can find it, here we go. First we take a car. And we take this little car, and we have her feel that car. And then we have her feel the word car in Braille. And so she learns that this little car is a car in Braille. Then they give her a bigger car. And then she feels the bigger car. And then she feels Braille. And then they take her out to the parking lot, and they show her a real car. And then they teach her that that's a real car in Braille. One word can take an amazing long time. So that is what gave me the third part of the formula for vision beyond sight. Today, I'm a happy man. Probably the best part of my life is since I've had vision loss. And now I'm a national speaker for the National Speakers Association and Global Speakers Federation. And I travel all over and do all kinds of speaking. I get to teach at the university, and they have to put up with me over there. But, you know. But anyway, so I have a really, really great life. Tonight, just you've got to watch these videos and watch what they do for these kids. Parents, I have to tell you something. Parents who raise children with a disability are the most amazing people on the face of the earth. I don't know how they do it. They're the most amazing people on the face of the earth. So thank you very much. I got my 10 minutes are up. If I can find my dog, I can get off the stage. Oh, there he is. All right. And enjoy the evening.
Is that right? Is that right?
Dog or something.